Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with the Nike Peg Premium and the other most innovative shoes of 2025. Barrett helped me put together this list for the Instagram. Make sure you're following the Supero Running Instagram if you're not. And I thought it'd be fun to put together a list for the YouTube as well and include a few more shoes that did not make the cut for the IG. Now, if you are looking for a new shoe, maybe you're looking for a super innovative shoe like the Peg Premium or the Prime X Strong 3 or the Fast R3, or you're just looking for a good old reliable daily trainer, something like the Nike Vomero or the Asics Nova Blast 5 or the Salomon Aero Go 3. You gotta make sure you're on the Supwell app. No matter what shoe you're looking for, we've got options. It's the best place to find deals. People will buy a shoe like the Nike Pegasus Premium and either it doesn't work for them or they just have a big rotation and they're not reaching for it. And they'll list it for well below MSRP. Guess what? This is where I found my Peg Premium. I bought it myself on my own app, the Supwell app. So if you're looking for a new shoe, a great deal, or a new community to help take your training to the next level, get in with us on the Supwell app and enjoy today's video.
Well, howdy, partner. You surprised to see me here? I know it's been quite some time.
We are back with the Nike Pegasus Premium. Did I say that in the intro? The funny thing is I always film the intro at the very end, after I've done everything. It's the last thing I do when I'm down on the street. So when I'm starting these videos, I have no idea what I said in the intro. Hopefully I told you about the Supwell app. Maybe I made a joke about we're back with the Peg Premium. I don't know. But today we're doing top 5 most innovative shoes. I probably said that in the intro, didn't I? Yeah, I hadn't run the Pegasus Premium for a long time. And with all these new releases coming out, I had this idea for the Instagram to do a top 5 most innovative shoes list. And I thought, why not put a video together on it as well, spotlighting some of the recent developments in shoe technology. And we've hit a really interesting point in the development cycle of running shoes over the past, I'd say, year to 18 months, because for a long time, or not a long time, but I think past 5 years, the pace of innovation was so rapid when it came to the race shoes. And you can see here on the top layer, the Pegasus Premium, you do have Nike's Zoom X Race Foam. And then we hit a pause where there wasn't a ton of development in the race foams. And still right now, a lot of the shoes you're going to see on this list, it's not actually with the foam compound itself. It's about different things going on with the shoes. But there still are some minor changes coming. So this is a cool shoe, Pegasus Premium. I also haven't gotten any miles in it since I did the 100-mile week review. This was the last shoe that I did that for, and I'm likely never going to do that again. If you're not familiar with the 100-mile week review, I take one shoe, and I run 100 miles in it in 1 week. It turns out to be quite miserable most of the time. That's why I'm not doing it anymore. And ironically, it's one of the things that put my channel on the map. I would get shoes like the Rebel V4 last year, Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, and just plow a ton of miles on them. I don't do it anymore. It's not the best. But I did that with this guy. It stood up decently well. This is Nike's Max Cushion Fun Cruiser. It had accusations of being a lifestyle shoe, and now Nike has the 3 product categories, or the 3 silos. They have their Pegasus category, which is about responsiveness. This is the top tier one. They have the Vomero category or silo, which is about comfort and cushion, and then the structure, which is about stability. So this is supposed to be the most responsive Pegasus ever, or the bountiest. It does a really nice job at that. It's weird because the Pegasus Plus is a fast shoe, and this is not a fast shoe. It's almost like the Zoom Fly 6. The Gloom Fly should have been the Pegasus Premium in their setup, and then they have other shoes like the Gloom Fly that fall outside of it. Anyway, regardless of what this is called, the reason it's making this list is because it has a full-length air unit going from front to back. We also have the Vomero Premium coming out soon, which is going to also use air units. But this is a cool shoe. It's a sandwich of foam. So top layer of race foam, middle layer of air zoom unit, and then bottom layer of React X just for stability, and then you get a lot of rubber on the bottom. So I'm going to lace this up, get some miles in it today, and then we can go through the rest of the list. I also just wanted to do a revisit on the Peg Premium because With the 100-mile-week reviews, I get a ton of miles in it in a short period of time, and then I never touch the shoe again. In the case of this, I haven't run it again because, I don't know, even if it's the best shoe ever, running 100 miles in it in 1 week, it gets tiring and makes me not want to run in it for a long time. So I'm fully recovered from the traumatic experience of the 100-mile week in this. I also capped that off with the treadmill marathon. Again, even in the best shoe, if you run 106 or whatever miles in 1 week and cap it off with the treadmill marathon, you're likely not going to want to run that shoe a lot again for quite some time. So let's lace this bad boy up, and then we can get out there. I'll give you my thoughts on the run, updated thoughts too, now that I've run a bunch of the newer releases, and then we can close it out with the 5 top innovative shoes. This shoe had a bunch of lifestyle shoe accusations when it came out. People were saying it's a lifestyle shoe. I think the same people calling it a lifestyle shoe, saying it's not a real running shoe, those are the same pretentious running community. They call them the running community. They're the same running community people that I try to run away from as fast as possible. I don't even know what a lifestyle shoe means. You can run in this. It's great. I ran a 100-mile week in it. What lifestyle is it? The hobby jogger lifestyle. And the other thing is, I have to talk about this every time I review a Nike running shoe. It's honestly hilarious. The level of suspiciousness and hatred, I won't even say hate, it's hatred and disdain that people have for Nike. Nike just gets people so riled up. We had the Vomero on the Instagram, number 5 on the Daily Trainer power rankings, and somebody said that Nike was paying us to include them on the power rankings. I think that's the only Nike shoe. Oh no, the Alpha Fly is also on the race day power rankings. But of the 5 lists we do, there's 2 Nike shoes. And people are so suspicious of big bad Nike that they think Nike is paying people to be included at the bottom slot of a top 5 daily trainers list. Anyway, we've got this thing on foot. It is a tall, big shoe. I think the lifestyle accusations come because it looks so good. It's fire, man. This is one of the top 5 silhouettes and colorways of the year. I love the Proto colorway from Nike with these orange accents. The white is clean, and it also does look like an Air Max, an older Nike shoe. But in terms of the fit, upper is great. I have this half a size up because when it first came out, you couldn't find it anywhere, and I was only able to find this on the Supwell app. Somebody was selling an 11, so I got it in an 11. It's fine. I would go true to size if you have the option, but nice lightweight upper. Good fit around the back. Let's do a walk test. So yeah, what's so cool about this? Oh gosh. What's so cool about this shoe is the feeling of the air unit. You can feel it compress from front to back, and you get this nice, smooth, gentle roll as you walk along. You do have a thick layer of rubber on the bottom. It's almost this crunchy sensation, which is odd, but the combination of the top layer of ZoomX and the air unit moves you along nicely. So plan for this morning. It is Saturday. I do have a ton of new shoes in boxes. And so I was debating, do I take out one of the new Carbon Racers? But it's Saturday. The reason I'm not is because I typically just get nice, relaxed 4 miles. So that's what we're going to do. Nice, relaxed 4 miles in this shoe. Max cushion, comfort. And we can come back and talk through some of the other innovations. Let's do it. Oh man, Mint Hill Police, they pulling up to my house? Bro, I literally had a moment of panic. It looked like he was slowing down at my house.
Yeah, Nike Pegasus Premium here. This just has such a fun ride. You definitely get more benefit landing on the heel. It's cool what they've done with this air unit. It takes away a lot of the impact of landing on the heel, and then the Zoom X pops you along. Most certainly not a speed shoe, but a fun, floaty experience. Man, there is no cloud today. Not a single cloud. All the firework detritus is out here. Thought there was a dead turtle in the street, but it was shrapnel from the fireworks. You come out here to the burbs, people just set off their own fireworks. It's funny, it's either deep in the burbs, in the rural areas, where people are setting off fireworks, or in the middle of the city. So the one issue I have with this shoe is, well, two. First, the stability isn't great. I was definitely feeling it in my ankles after I ran that treadmill marathon, and maybe you would with any shoe, but even just jogging here, something about it, I don't know. It's just so floaty, and it almost works these stabilizing muscles that you didn't know you had. So Barefoot Mafia always says to run in low stack shoe for weak ankles. I think you gotta run in this for weak ankles. This will have you sore in some ligaments you didn't know existed. But that's one. The second is the toe off experience. Because of the 10mm drop and how they've ended the air unit up at the front, it's not the smoothest getting up on the toe. It's almost better for just a straight flat-footed land on the top of the platform. Morning. Dude, this shoe is so fun. This is an enthusiast shoe, for sure. It's not a lifestyle shoe. It's also not a workhorse. I think the people who are saying lifestyle shoe, it's the same people who just want a no frills, do it all Pegasus, right? If you're used to running in the Pegasus, this is completely nonsensical. This is not a functional utility purchase in the same way that the Prime X Strong 3 is not. But no one's calling the Prime X Strong 3 a lifestyle shoe. This is like the old Jeep you buy just to take the doors off and the roof off to have a beach car. It's most certainly not a, I almost want to say luxury, but you wouldn't call an old Jeep a luxury car. So not luxury in the sense of fancy, but something you don't need. And the Prime X Strong got me thinking about that a lot too recently, about emotional shoe purchases versus functional. There's no function in this that you can't get elsewhere. But you're buying it for the experience. Just like that old TJ Jeep. Maybe this is a lifestyle shoe. Maybe it's the lifestyle of enjoying life, having fun, unironically being enthusiastic about things. The lifestyle of smiling, the joyous lifestyle, the lifestyle of rejecting cynicism, the lifestyle of not being chronically online. Maybe that's the lifestyle of these, baby. Popping out clean, getting mileage, smiling. I was having so much fun enjoying my lifestyle. I forgot to say mile one. Mile one was 7:40 something. We're about to hit mile 2 here. Mile 2, 7:15. One of the biggest innovations too is brands recognizing that there are enthusiasts, running shoe enthusiasts, in a way that a couple of years ago there were not. People who will buy shoes, hundreds of thousands of people who will buy shoes purely for the experience, like with wine or cars or watches or travel. It's like anything, right? You have people who are hobbyists of grilling and will buy $1,000 grills. You don't need that to cook a steak. You can do that in your stove, but it adds to the fun and the enjoyment. It's the type of dog to make me delete yesterday's entire video. Start talking about I hate America. People in America like their dogs too much. Mile 3, 7:14. I'm kind of moving in these. And I know there's the people, why would you buy the Pegasus Premium at $200 when there's an Adidas Evo SL at $150? Well, dude, I could say the same thing. Why would you sign up for a marathon in 2 countries over, pay $4,000 when you can just do a time trial in your neighborhood or sign up for a local race? Why would you buy a 3,500 square foot house when all you need to exist is a hut? Bro, we could play this game forever. Yeah, this is one of those shoes where you just gotta enjoy the little luxuries of life. So fun. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. See, the day after I say I love America, we got the dogs chasing me and the cops patrolling.
Man, it's hot out here already. I was working. Good news is, though, this is supposed to be the last 90-degree day for a while. I guess actually until Monday. But tomorrow, for my long run, it's supposed to be high of 81 only, which is much appreciated given what happened last week. But yeah, Peg Premium, for sure an innovative shoe. Also a shoe that is purely for enjoyment. That's the category I put this shoe in. Of course, you could use it as a workhorse daily trainer, but it's not the most economical shoe dollars wise or running economy wise, I don't feel that I'm super efficient in the shoe, but it's like buying a Cadillac Escalade. You're not buying it for the gas mileage. That's a very similar thing with this shoe. Yeah, my heart rate might be higher trying to run a certain fast pace, but that's not what this is about. This is about the experience and the enjoyment and the innovation of bringing both comfort, supreme comfort, and race day tech into an everyday running shoe. So awesome shoe right here. I don't even know how many minutes we spent on this. Let's get to the rest of the list. But I'm glad I revisited this because it still is a really good shoe. It just has not been in the rotation. I should probably get my specs here. It's going to take let's wait for the Garmin lag. It takes about 10 seconds to get the stats. There we go. 4 miles, 7:19 pace, 30 minutes, 28 seconds. Cop situation, I wonder if someone called the cops on the people who were doing fireworks last night. Probably the same person who called the cops on me whenever that was. I guess they called the cops on me for running and filming a while back, and then for filming and driving. Probably the same type of person who would call the cops for people shooting off fireworks on the 4th of July. And what I learned from that experience is they're obligated to respond to every call. So if they get a call that says, hey, there's a bunch of hooligans shooting off fireworks tonight, the cops have to come through. And the other thing is, so there's a golf course about a mile that way, Pine Lake Country Club. It's not a super fancy golf course. It's more of a workhorse golf course, right? If you have your tiers. Anyway, there's a golf course right over there. They're undergoing renovations, so they didn't shoot off the fireworks this year. They usually shoot them off every year, and from our driveway, we could just sit there, get chewed by the mosquitoes, and have a beautiful fireworks show. But that wasn't going on. So last night, Charlie took Mason out. It was one of the most surprised I've ever been. Charles took Mason out of bed at 9 p.m. and drove her all around the neighborhood to find the guerrilla fireworks, the underground fireworks, the non-government authorized fireworks. I actually joined them for 5 minutes and I said, I'm tired, you bring me back home. So they dropped me off. But shout out to everyone getting into shenanigans on 4th of July weekend. All right, most innovative shoes. I was gonna do top 5. We have the 5 going on Instagram. I pulled a few more here. Of course, we have the Nike Pegasus Premium. I'll just give you 30 seconds on this for the people who skipped ahead and missed everything else I said about the shoe out there. The innovation here is the full length Air unit. Really cool experience, super fun. It feels best when landing on the heel and the midfoot, and that's the one downside with the shoe. And of course, with innovative products, this is something that's worth mentioning. With innovative products, it's often not perfection. It's frequently not perfection. Frequently, the most innovative products also have a lot wrong with them. If you want something reliable, you get the thing that's been in the market for 10 years, 20 years, right? If you want something reliable, get the Brooks Ghost Max or the Brooks Ghost, the shoe that hasn't changed all that much in the past 10 years. If you want something new and fresh, that's where you get the innovation. When the first iPhones came out, they're super buggy. Or anytime a new car comes out, the new generation, so say there's a model like even the Toyota Camry, they update it every 5 years or 7 years with a big refresh. They changed the chassis, they changed the whole architecture, new infotainment and software. The first model year always has bugs. No matter if it's Toyota or Audi or Ford, whatever brand and the reputation is, the first model year will always have more bugs. And that's why the car brands will do recalls and fix issues. Any sector, any consumer product, when it's new and it's fresh and it's innovative, there will be issues. So the issue with this guy is the forefoot. They could really change this here, and I'm hoping in the Vomero Premium that is fixed. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't have a recommendation actually, but the issue is that the air unit stops. You have to stop the air unit somewhere, unless it's like the Fast R3 and they stick the air unit off here, but I think that would risk it being punctured. So the engineering question is, how do you protect the air unit while still allowing you to get the forefoot pop? And in the Alpha Fly, the air unit is actually only back here. So maybe the answer would be to stop the air unit farther back, put more Zoom X up here, but something about the forefoot experience, if you're just landing right here, is not the best. So I lean more into a heel strike with this shoe. And dude, when you're heel striking, landing farther on the back or even the midfoot,
feels really nice. So that's the innovation here, bringing supreme comfort into an everyday running shoe with the race day tech, the full length air unit. All right, I said I was gonna do what, 5, and then we have 7. I wanna do an honorable mention. I have a few honorable mention here. So one shoe that I spotlighted yesterday, this is the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, aka the Sky America. Innovation on this is the new latest and greatest marathon shoe. I loved it. But the innovation here is not the dual foam itself, but putting the softer layer of foam on the bottom of a dual foam shoe. Really cool, really simple, not groundbreaking, but it's a frame shift that makes a big difference, right? So traditionally when we see dual foam, like in a shoe like this is a dual foam shoe. The Nike Pegasus Premium. The top layer here is the softer ZoomX. On the bottom, you have a small layer of the React X, and you have this air unit on top. And you can almost consider the air unit as part of the softer layer of foam. So you have this entire softer part of the midsole up here. That's for the landing experience. You want the bounce. And then the bottom here is supposed to add stability. This does not have that much stability. I actually wonder how it would be if they wrapped, this would increase the weight, but if they wrapped the ZoomX or the React X farther up the sidewall, so they enclosed the Zoom unit here, that could be better for stability. It would make it look less cool if it weren't fully seen or see-through here, but it could add for the stability. Anyway, that's typically why you do this. Stability, that bottom foam on the back, and then the soft step in and comfort and balance on the top. Asics flips that on this shoe. You got the softer one on the bottom and the firmer one on the top. Now, this is not a super soft foam. I was actually surprised at this, and someone said maybe it's because the FF Leap is more of a cup and it's cradling the firmer foam on the inside, but even if you press it from the bottom, you can tell it's not a super soft shoe. Spoiler alert, we have the Saucony Endorphin Elite here, and I can show you pressing this guy in. I mean, look at me compressing this here and pushing it in. This is probably the softest foam on the market versus trying to do that with, I mean, it's not even close. So the FF Leap is soft, it's not super soft, but really cool. And I would like to see more brands try a format like this, right? What if Saucony did an Endorphin Trainer V2? They're not gonna do that shoe, they canceled it. What if they did something where you put the Power Run Plus on the top, so the beaded TPU on the top, and the Power Run PB on the bottom? Or they did something with the Incredible Run, you somehow put that on the bottom, and the Power Run HG on the top. So I don't know, maybe brands have tried it and it's failed and it hasn't gone to market. I know Salomon has done it in the S-Lab Spectre, but that's a really cool thing, just making that flip. It was soft but not too squishy, and I'm wondering if that's why I liked it, because to me this did not read as too soft. A lot of the race shoes with the 100% soft race foams like the Endorphin Elite 2 have not hit for me. So I think that was a subtle shift that made this more palatable for a runner like me. I still need to test it on 20-mile long run, but really cool innovation here, putting the softer foam on the bottom and the firmer foam on the top. All right, next up, this was one more honorable mention. This is the Speedland RX Fippy. The innovation here, bang, removable carbon fiber plate. So this is something that Speedland has been doing in their trail shoes for a while. I don't even know how many years, 2-3 years, so not brand new in here, but this is a road shoe. Good ride. I actually prefer it without the plate. The plate in here, I don't know, it didn't add much. It's almost like if you had a Pegasus Premium with the plate. What would be the point of that? The Pegasus Premium, the entire point of this is just to have fun, comfortable miles. And this shoe feels very similar to me to something like the Pegasus Premium. It's wide, it's big, it's heavy, so the plate is really designed to either stabilize foam, reinforce a rocker, or give you a stiffer platform on the front to push off of. In a shoe like the Endorphin Elite 2, you need the plate. You would not be able to run in this shoe without a plate, given how soft it is. This guy does not need a plate. I mean, look at me bending this without a plate. It's decently rigid, just all by itself. And the foam is not super soft and squishy, especially the bottom foams. This is another dual foam, or at least dual layer, where you have the inner unit here and the outer. Another cool innovative thing is the lacing system. You don't see that, the BOA on the roadside a lot. You see it in cycling and some other sports and trail. But yeah, the plate didn't exactly hit for me or work as intended, because it's not a bad shoe with the plate. It's just much better without the plate. But I do like that they tried it, and I would love to see other brands do it. What if a brand like an Asics or Adidas, who has all of the historical legacy firepower of creating high-powered training shoes and racing shoes for the roads, which Speedland does not, they're new to this game on the road side. What if an Asics or Adidas said, bro, let's take our Super Blast, let's take our Primex Strung 3 or our Boston and make it a shoe where you could take out the carbon plate. Let's actually deliver a hybrid road training racing shoe. I do think a brand like Adidas or Asics could nail the execution. So with this one, the concept is there, the idea is there, the innovation is there. And again, that is so cool to me as an enthusiast of these products, seeing brands try new things. It's like with the whiskeys, right? Brands will, the distilleries will, hey, let's throw in some coffee beans into the oak barrel. Let's take different staves. It's called staves. They'll take different types of wood and age it inside the whiskey to try to create different flavors. And I'm sure there's terrible whiskeys that result from that. And there's going to be terrible shoes, or at least not great shoes, that result when you try new things and you experiment. You could have things blow up in your face when you're cooking in the lab, but you can also have some cool new things. If brands never tried to experiment with race foams and higher stacks, we wouldn't even have the Zoom X foam in the first place. So I love to see this. I would also love to see one of the mainstream brands offer this. Of course, there's the profit motive that the mainstream brands have, that any brand has, to, you want to incentivize people to buy more shoes, not fewer shoes. So unless there's a real good reason for a brand to do it, they're not going to. I just think it would be cool, and why not? If you create one shoe, I don't think the cannibalization would be that bad, and it would also be a cool halo product if an Adidas or an Asics could actually make that shoe where you could take out the plate. And guess what? The enthusiast would buy that, as well as the Sonic Blast, the Super Blast, the Nova Blast, and the Squid Blast, all the blasts, if Asics made it. So I'm telling you, Asics, make that shoe. The cannibalization is not going to be as bad as you think. All right, next up here, I think that was supposed to be honorable mention. They're all, maybe this is going to be 7 most innovative shoes. Next up here, we're in the top 3 now. I'm gonna go for the Fast R3 here. Puma, oh no, we still have one more. Puma Fast R3, one of the most innovative shoes of the year. Innovation here, a few things. So the first is the carbon fiber plate sticking out past where your foot ends. So this is designed to give you more energy return. This is designed to make you more efficient so that you're losing less energy with each stride, getting more energy returned back. So versus you running hard and it's either getting lost in the ground or laterally, that's another thing that these plates are great at doing. They make sure that your energy isn't getting lost laterally. Oh, especially in the super soft shoes. But in here, you can see the carbon fiber plate is actually sticking out. So that's one of the first things. The other innovative thing with this was in the development process. Now, I'm sure a lot of brands are doing this, but this is something that I learned that Puma did that resulted in a shoe actually being more efficient. This has gone through numerous tests now, not just the official Puma test, but multiple people, independent testing. I was talking about a few weeks ago, Hob Talmuchaney did his own testing. I've seen other reviewers and researchers do independent testing. So one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient shoes. This is actually going to give you incremental additional speed versus another race shoe. It's not just marketing cap and a gimmick. So what they've done to achieve that is zonal identification and testing in the lab. So they identify what zones, where are people landing, where is it optimal for us to have foam, where is it optimal for us to reduce the weight of foam, and then with that, how should the geometry of the shoe work. And the cool thing with that too is one of the studies I read showed recreational runners or hobby joggers who are around my pace, who are they were doing this for. So it's not just an elite shoe that's going to work for elites. It was people who are running 6-minute race times and 6-minute fast training times that it works for. So those are the two innovative things here. You have the lip here, or the tongue poking out with the plate, and then you have the testing that the shoe went through to get where it is. And again, even if every brand is doing that, this is the manifestation of all of the shared corpus, the shared body of research coming to fruition and actually getting us to the next level. You don't immediately put a man on the moon. It takes a lot of research, science, and development to get here. You don't get here without the Vaporfly in the first place. So sometimes you have innovation from mixing things together and getting a blow up in your face in the lab. Other times it's 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. And this was more of a 1% here, 1% there, and we get something new and cool and different. Last thing, the TPU foam, aliphatic TPU foam, innovative because for a long time, last 5 to 7 years, PEBA, which is what we see here, top layer, this is a PEBA, polyether block amide. For a long time, that was the standard in racing. And Adidas was the lone holdout that was not in the PEBA camp. They're in the supercritical TPEE camp. But Puma has finally engineered a foam that is even faster than PEBA in the TPU. So TPUs and TPEEs are another innovation in 2025. Which brings me to the next shoe. Bang! Saucony Endorphin Elite. This is another non-PEBA race foam. So Saucony was holding it down. They were one of the main brands that popularized PEBA in the race shoes. You had Nike with the Vaporfly and the Alphafly, and then Saucony came through with the Endorphin Pro, which opened up racing gear, the racing products, what a lot of people call the super shoes, to a wider range of runners. So the Endorphin Pro was wider, it was more stable, it had a more forgiving ride than the Alphafly, or the Vaporfly and the Alphafly, but Vaporfly in particular, narrower, lower to the ground, not as cushioned, also a lot softer. Saucony has shifted now, at least in this top tier product. This is $290 with the recent Saucony price increases. They've shifted to this foam, which is it's a TPEE, I believe. Is it TPEE? I think so. It's not a PEBA. It's either a TPU or a TPEE. There's so many foams, sometimes I get them mixed up in my head, but it is very soft. And it's not just the compound, regardless of the actual letters, because guess what? 99.9% of people out there who say TPEE or PEBA or EVA, we have no idea what the actual mechanical chemical differences are. It's just a shorthand to remember different types. But the innovation here, it could have been a PEBA, it could have been an EVA. It's more so about the experience. How soft this is with you actually being able to run in it. This is by far the softest shoe that you can actually run in. It is crazily soft. It almost feels like you're gonna break this thing by running in it. I mean, just look at this. There is nothing else like this on the market. It is a completely unique foam experience, just wild. So that's the innovation with this here. There's nothing else about it. You get the carbon fiber plate, you get the rocker. It's all about the midsole foam here. If this was Power Run PB or Power Run HG, this would be a good shoe, maybe even a better shoe, maybe even a shoe that I would prefer to race in. But with this, it's a completely wild, unique, different, innovative ride. Now, I would like to see them evolve this compound and make it even better. This is just plain old too soft for me, and I doubt you're gonna see a lot of people running sub 240, sub 230 with this. Of course, there are gonna be some people who do. I just don't think this is gonna be the one that a lot of sub elites and even sub elites, sub 3 and sub 230, sub 2, I don't think a lot of people are going to be going this. This is a very comfortable shoe, and the people that I've heard like this the most so far are 4-hour marathoners in that range. Once you start getting into 6-minute paces and faster, it's just they're just better options, right? Something like the Metaspeed Tokyo here, this new release, or the Fast Star or the Alphafly, there's just more tried and true options that feel more normal, that are less distracting. I have heard a lot of runners in that 4-hour range like this for comfort, but I would like to see Saucony evolve it and try to put a product out there that's actually gonna be great and optimal for the elite paces and sub-elite paces, because this one is just too soft for a lot of people out there who are running those sub-elite and elite paces. Other thing with Saucony, I don't know what happened to Power Run HG. That was a beautiful foam. That was so good in the Endorphin Elite 2. And the Endorphin Elite 2 was such a widely beloved shoe. It might have been the second most popular shoe that I would see when I would go to races with a lot of sub 3 runners. You'd see the Alphafly, of course. you'd see the Adios Pro 3 and you'd see the Endorphin Elite 2. And depending on which race I went to, sometimes there'd be more Endorphin Elite, sometimes there'd be more Adios. Of course, Adidas has a bigger brand name, but it was right up there. And then Saucony just killed it and came up with this. And now we have the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, which has replaced the Endorphin Elite. So that's something I would like to see from Saucony, but that is a topic for another video. Maybe the 5 shoes that need to come back from the dead, part 2. Maybe we'll do that for Halloween, because last time I did it for Easter. Number 2, or second to last, this wasn't really a ranking, but we got the Streak Fly here. Innovation on this is bringing the track spike feel to the roads. So with this guy, look at the geometry on the bottom, man. So if you're standing on this, your toe is gonna be 4 or 5 millimeters, maybe even taller, higher above the heel. So the innovation on this is all about the geometry. There's nothing special about the foam. There's nothing special about the plate. This is the same foam and the same plate, roughly. I'm sure there's been minor differences, but same foam, same carbon fiber plate that has been in the Nike race shoes since 2017. The difference is how light they've been able to make this and what they've done with the geometry. You got the super aggressive forefoot rocker up here, very similar to a shoe like the Fast R3. And the difference is there's very minimal foam on the heel. You don't land on the heel at all. So unlike the Pegasus Premium, where this guy just wants you to land 100% on the heel or the midfoot, with the Streak Fly, you have to land on the front. This is a shoe only for shorter distances, 5Ks, 10Ks, super fast. But because they have made this such a compromised shoe, it's so fast. So another innovation is just, like I was saying out there, going for purpose built, acknowledging that they're enthusiasts, or not even just enthusiasts, but people who now have the appetite to buy highly specialized shoes. A shoe like the Streak Fly 2 could not have existed 6 years ago. I don't think there was the market for a shoe like this on the roads because people weren't buying these hyper specialized shoes and having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shoe rotations. You can now have this, and you'll have this, you'll have your Fast R, you'll have your Alpha Fly, you'll have a whole range for the enthusiasts out there of different shoes for different experiences. Just like some people collect watches. You only need one gosh dang watch to tell the time. And if you have an iPhone or a smartphone, which 95, did I say smartphone? That's a Freudian slip right there. 95% of people, not even 95, I'll go out there on a limb and say 100% of people these days have a smartphone, 99.9999, so you don't need a watch, but it's for the fun of it. And some people have multiple watches because they collect them. Same thing with this shoe. This is the shoe that you want for the speed, not the one that you need. And then also for high school runners and college runners, if you're only gonna have one shoe for your 5K track work and your races, this would be a good shoe if you don't want to get a spike, right? This gives you more versatility because you could do more workouts in this with some additional level of comfort versus a spike, and you can run workouts both on the roads and the tracks. So that's another cool thing. So track spike feel for the roads, Streak Fly 2. All right, last innovative shoe here. Again, this is not necessarily a ranking. I just kind of went randomly today. We're just freestyling. But we got the Adidas, ooh, it's getting bright here. Adidas Prime X Strong 3. Now, they've had 3 cracks at this shoe model here. I don't think this is the best one. I still think the first is the best one, and they're still trying to evolve and see where exactly this fits, and they've made it a more stable and accessible shoe for more people than the V1. But the innovation here is the multiple plates. So you get the top plate right here, and then the bottom is the energy rods, and then thick stack of foam. You got 50 mils in the back, 50 millimeters of foam in the back, and dang near 50 in the front. You got a super tall forefoot. So this is the shoe that delivers a fun, bouncy ride. You gotta land up on the forefoot. It's the reverse of the Peg Premium. The Peg Premium is you land on the back, in the middle, and it's good for cruising along. This thing is you land on the forefoot, you almost want to land exactly like this, and it just bounces you, and it feels better the faster you go and the more power you put into it. So again, the cool thing with this and the innovation is the brand acknowledging, Adidas acknowledging that it's no longer just about pure performance and race day efficiency. They can invest in developing a shoe purely for enthusiasts and the fun. And they've known that because they've had the Prime X Strong for a few generations, but this one really leans into it. similar to the 2, but with the heaviness, with how much foam. It's not even trying to make it the artifice of being a fast race shoe, and it is faster than a shoe like this. It's faster than the Speedland, faster than, a lot of these other shoes are faster than daily trainers, but it's not faster than the Adios Pro 4 or the Evo Pro 2. So they've invested a lot in the experience of this shoe. So a lot of foam, a lot of plates, a lot of stack. Now, the interesting thing with this is, similar to the Metaspeed, there is nothing in and of itself in here that is completely fresh and different. They've had this Light Strike Pro foam compound. Plates and rods have existed for nearly 10 years now, but it's the way that it all comes together that's different. So we're at this interesting stage right now where, again, there's no truly revolutionary products. Even the Fast R3 is more of an evolution. I'd say the closest to a revolution that we have right now is the Incredirum and the Saucony Endorphin Elite, but it is just so soft and squishy and does not contend for me with the fastest shoes that I don't think it's going to be the same arms race that the Vaporfly was. The arms race we're seeing right now is a race to the bottom when it comes to weight. So Evo Pro going sub 150 grams, the new ASIC shoe going sub 150 grams. That's another frontier, but again, that's more of an evolution. It's just finding how can we shave 1% of weight here? How can we shave 3% of weight here? So no huge, massive breakthroughs this year, but the experience is an area brands are investing a lot in, developing shoes for experiences, acknowledging that the enthusiast segment does exist, and giving us some good, fun shoes. So there you go. Most innovative shoes of 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a fun one to put together. I'm glad I revisited the Peg Premium. This is still a fun, comfortable banger. I hope you're enjoying the long holiday weekend, getting your long run in, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Big box full of shoes. That's a lot of carbon. I got a big house. Still grinding like I'm starving. These boys don't even know what's going on. Like Marvin. I really used to be in that 1-bedroom apartment.